Welcome to the Afters, uncut bonus content for our best friends behind the paywall. This week, we're fucking around with Jimmy and Larry after potting with the blokes, Mick and Corn.
The boys, the mates, the lads.
The co-creators, the executive producers, the directors, and co-writers of Industry, a show that is on HBO, debuted this past weekend, a show that you and I have loved since the first moment of season 1. And
well, no, you put me on. You put me on because I didn't watch it. Did it drop all at once? I think it did.
Yeah.
And I think I had to be not pushed over the line, but made aware of it and then been hooked ever since.
Lawrence, you're kind of like an article of clothing to me in that I put you on to a lot. But
thank you. I'm so appreciative.
You should be, because
this bitch just called me an article of clothing.
Brother
you're
John.
Like you're like a sentient jacket, dude. I just put you on and take you off and discard you.
No, I didn't say that. I said I put you on.
I was just extrapolating.
Okay. Well, no, that's very negative of you. You should probably go see a therapist.
Did this motherfucker just extrapolate me?
Yeah. This motherfucker be extrapolating. I was interpolating, you fuck. Mick and Con, straight from London town, at the tail end of their press junket.
Yeah.
Wait, we fucked up last time. I think we should do a fit check first before we get into
anything?
the typical afters subjects.
Yeah, because I guess they already listened to the show, so they know what's going on.
No, just like last week after How to Make It, we got into a fit check like 30 minutes into the afters.
Yeah, that was fun. I mean, none of this, like I said, these shits are really fun because they're not planned, but you're right. So why don't you start?
Okay, on the feats.
These are the happy hour fits. So these are like special fits because we're going to be in the muck like Henry.
Well, that's the thing. This fit, for the first time, I had to think of a fit and put on a fit that wasn't just like how to survive the heat.
Yeah.
How to sweat as little as possible. How to not melt dick.
How to not melt in America.
Because you got to look good at the party. You got to be in a functional fit because it's kind of raining. It was like 70s when I left the crib, but it's gonna be like 60s tonight because we're gonna go to dinner afterwards.
Yeah.
You gotta be fucking loose. You gotta have movement. You gotta look good in photos. You gotta be comfortable.
You gotta have some heels so you're a little bit taller.
Absolutely. That is not something that was lost on me.
No. Oh wait, for me, or you did the same thing?
I did the absolute same thing.
And also because Mick and Con, everyone I think knows that Con is tall. Mick is also very tall.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because they're malnourished.
Because they're British.
Yeah.
They were fucking fed on
brown.
On NIH cheese.
Yeah, dude. God damn it. Too. That's sometimes in a photo, I'm like, oh yeah. All right. This is democratic in terms of height. And then sometimes I'm like, bro, I look like I'm fucking Jon Snow height.
Yeah. You could not like kid ass motherfucker. Anyway, on the feet are some playground shoes. I left them unlaced. I slipped them on just to see how they look like if they were comfortable because I haven't worn them in a minute. And I like them. They have the I forget what this is called, the fucking clicky wheel.
Yeah,
whatever.
There's a name for it that we
There's a name for it. It's like a system is what it's called. But I'm leaving them unlaced. And I don't know if it's like a fuck ass move that when I stand up, my pants like kind of get tucked into the tongue.
Do they fit?
But I'm going with it.
Do they fit more comfortably this way?
No, they're a little looser.
Okay. I
mean, this whole thing is that they get like super snug in a good way.
Yeah.
Which I'm not mad at.
They can lock in.
They literally lock in. But it says here a dial system. But I'm going to just fucking let them run loose, baby.
Let them hang, dude.
The socks are some Nike Drifties. I guess people care about height, so they're like the tall ones that are scrunched down like Lawrence's bisexual Beethoven's. The pants are Vintage Silver Tab Levi's.
Nice. Pleated?
Yes, pleated.
Nice. Classy.
Haven't worn these since Montreal.
Okay.
So fucking happy. We're going to get into it, actually. We're going to get into it. The shirt is MF Pen. Oh, the belt is a Horsehide Our Legace Workshop. The hardware is Phil Panza, Bottega, Jill Sonder. The jacket.
Yeah.
This is
new.
The light jacket. Oh, and the sunglasses are Bottega as well. The lightweight outerwear, which I don't know about you. When I saw the weather for today, hallelujah, hallelujah.
It changed and raised your mood.
Hallelujah. Like Castor Troy in
that was beautiful.
Face Off.
Yeah.
Just grabbing ass.
That is the one movie that you do love publicly is Face Off.
I mean, no more drugs for this man.
What is it? This guy or that man?
For that man.
For that man. Yeah, it's a great movie.
Yeah. Best line is, I want to take his face.
Oh, shout out John Woo, dude.
His first American feature, as we always say. Anyway, the jacket, this shit has been burning a hole in my closet. But when I saw the temperatures, but you always got to dress for the weather first.
Yeah, you got to check the weather.
It's like fucking lightweight outerwear season. Let's go. It's like that first
for a day.
For that first warm day in spring, that's like fake spring.
Yeah.
This is like almost even better, fake fall.
Lightweight outerwear season of deception.
Absolutely. But I'll take it.
Wait, is it going to be like, have you looked at, is it the rest of the week also going to be like a little fake
No,
out?
it's going to be disgusting. Just hot and humid.
No, we got lucky that honestly, Mick and Con low-key brought the London weather in a good way to New York for the happy hour because one, everyone can will have shown up dressing, putting that shit on. And two, it's just a fucking manageable situation.
Absolutely. It's better than manageable, bro. It's lightweight outerwear weather. So
it's ideal.
Again, I opened up my lightweight outerwear closet because, I do have a closet just for that. Just running my hands across like Old Johns.
My babies.
Old Johns are, they're like silver and gold.
Yeah.
You love the new, but you love the old. I don't know how the fucking goes.
That sounds kind of right, but it's not it for sure.
Yeah. But this is a new one. I picked it up at the Archivist in Paris when we were there for 2.5 days.
Yeah.
I was there with Nick Dearl. You were gone, actually. This was the day
I
you
absconded
to Ischia.
Yeah.
Where Amine recorded his Brat remix.
Yeah, which, by the way, fucking shout out friend of the show, Amine. He fucking crushed that. Also, I stayed at that hotel. He filmed that at Mezzatorre. I was not in the suite that he was in. I was in a junior suite, but
right.
I was, I had to hop in the comments and like make it very clear that I understand what's going on. I just said, Oh, and then the best part is he references Jitlada, which Nick Dearl is the mayor of. He has the bat phone. We've gone there with him. Clearly, he also takes his clients, a la Amine there.
Yep.
And that to me, I think I said, King of this, I'm pretty sure I know exactly what I said. King of the Summer, live from Ischia with the Jitlada shout out. Absolutely insane. Something like that.
Oh, so you didn't even mention like the hotel?
No, because I'm not going to like. I'm sure he was gone at that point, but that wasn't. I wasn't going to dox.
He had been posting. Him and his crew were eating at Gelada, and with the homie, I think he put his chain on the head homie there. Nick's like Mrs. Gelada, the queen of Gelada,
who is a family friend at this point.
Yeah, and Nick sent me a screenshot. It was Adam Amine sending him the file.
Yeah,
and he said to Nick, yo, there's a line in here for you.
Dude.
And then he's like, can't wait to listen. And he comes back, he's like, yo, the Gelada bar.
This is going to sound hyperbolic, but as someone who doesn't go to LA a lot, we'll talk about LA a little bit later in stark contrast to a better place. But I think Gelada, if I could have one meal in LA, that's where I'd want to go.
It's really good.
I had been one time before Nick. And when you go with Nick, it's a different experience.
Right.
Because the menu's huge. It helps to have a fucking spirit guy. But damn, is that northern or southern Thai?
I think it's a little bit of everything. It's a huge menu. We've talked about Gelada a lot.
Sorry.
Go to Gelada.
So
go to Gelada.
Good.
Go to Gelada. Support it's been family owned for a minute. But anyway, I went to the archives with Nick Dearl and I was just kind of like browsing. And it's true, Gallagher talks about this a lot. Like they do tax. Good vintage stores do. That's how they stay in business. That's how they make a business out of it. They do the work for you. They're not all just, setting Armani denim alerts on eBay. Or whatever.
Armani jeans.
Jeans.
I'm going to
get into it.
Do your thing.
But I threw this on, and this was during our trip where I was so overpacked. I was like, I can't buy anything. I had to buy this.
Yeah.
Because I threw it on, and it fit me like a fucking dream. And I knew I wasn't imagining it because I come out the dressing room and Nick just goes, yo, you got to buy that.
Oh, it was instantaneous.
Instantly.
Yeah.
You know when something's just like instantly yours?
Yeah.
And you haven't even bought it yet, but it just like makes sense.
This is mine. Yeah.
It makes sense. It fits your dumb fucking weird potato body perfectly. It has to, you manifested it.
Yeah.
By just finding it, by putting on, it's fucking destiny.
It's there for you, and it is your manifest destiny to just take that shit. Well,
on the first day of, and yes, there were holes in the pockets. I had to get them mended.
Oh, okay. So not truly perfect.
Not truly perfect, but which I only discovered after I purchase this.
So the archivist is taxing and not even sewing up the holes in the pockets. Come on, guys.
I mean, maybe they're like, oh, look, the master put holes in the pockets for your yen coins to follow.
Yeah.
But Wise for Men. So on the first day of fake outerwear season, fall deception, I had to bust out the Wise for Men stripy joint.
It's beautiful. That's a really good fucking color palette.
And maybe it's because it's a Japanese designer, my slightly more slender frame, I feel like fits better into Japanese
possibly
clothing. This is like my fourth now Wise for Men joint.
Oh, you're on a little bit of a fucking tear.
Mostly, if not all, lightweight outerwear.
Okay.
I know that you talked about chambray in your Celeb Sisters Substack and you were wearing it on last week's pod, but I have a little chambray joint myself.
Oh, wow.
From a Yoji.
Yo, chambray back?
Chambray back with a detachable fake fur collar.
Yeah, that's amazing. Chambrays, and I alluded to this in my restack, but that's the one thing I know you like to ride me pause about, like the hashtag menswear stuff, like that I've held on to that I'm trying to break out. One thing I never fell into, I always thought chambray was like a whack fabric. I love denim of all fucking garments and shapes and varieties. So like a Western shirt, jeans, whatever. The chambray is the one thing that, like, I guess you probably don't remember this. J. Crew had like a famous chambray that like everyone wore.
Why didn't I remember that? Why are you defining my history for me? Of course I remember that shit.
It was like, and there was the
all the herbs needed that J. Crew chambray.
And it was like, well, there was obviously like the typical indigo one, and then the big one was like that everyone wanted was like that faded red where it was almost like a pink one, that version with like the selvage little fucking shit hanging off the side. I don't know if it's that what turned me off, because like
I think I had the bootleg version of that from Penfield.
Really? So you were I was never really rocking.
I had a red chambray. I had a chambray shirt from APC that I picked up at the sample sale, and then it's embarrassing. It had a tear in the back because it was too small, and I think it like ripped when I bent over.
You Hogan that shit?
I took a Shades of Grey by Micah Cohen tie-dye tank top, cut out a square, and sewed it myself.
Oh.
So it had this little, I think Nick Grant did it with like his like blown out elbow patches. Yeah. And yes, we'll be linking to Nick Grant's Instagram in the rec.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Follow
Nick Grant. What state fairs you fuck with? Drop it in the comments below.
All-time question.
So I was inspired by that. So it's like when it stretched out,
you
could see a little fucking pop of color.
Yeah.
Again, very sus hashtag menswear days.
Maybe we'll become the chambray chiefs and we'll bring it back.
The chambray shamans.
The chambray shamans. What's interesting to me about your Wise collection, I guess you could call it. No? 4?
Burgeoning.
Because it doesn't exist anymore. I know we talked about maybe it was like going to come. I don't think it does. Or here's my point. Then it doesn't even matter, because the Wise that you're buying that, you know, is kind of like this beacon of diffusion lines. And I've talked about this a bunch with Giorgio Armani as well, whether it's Armani jeans, Emporio Armani, or even Mani by Giorgio Armani. Diffusion lines, make diffusion lines great again. I feel like today a diffusion line is a scarlet letter.
It's a dirty word.
Brands have them, obviously, to sell to an aspirational customer who cannot afford the real deal. But for whatever reason, not for whatever reason, because the world...
Real quick, Wise for Men, so fucking back.
Wait, but back because it was gone, but now is back, or it never left?
I don't know, but I'm currently on...
How does it look?
The photos look good.
Yeah?
I don't know what the prices are.
Well,
I think I'm on yojiyamamoto.co.jp/en/Wise for Men. So
that's got to be... Then it's here.
Yeah.
It's arrived.
Once
again.
So good.
I guess my thing is like, I understand.
Sorry, go ahead.
No. It's just like, I know the fashion industry has changed, the world has changed, but the diffusion lines back in the day, like just, I guess because the audience that the master or, you know, Mr. Armani was speaking to, it's like these way more like hyper specific crowds. It wasn't these huge swaths of people who are, you know, people are just trying to like fucking take money out of their wallet any way possible. Like the design and intentionality and quality of this stuff, like that is to me the best way to eBay vintage snipe or cop something from a vintage store, because like vintage Yoji is going to be expensive. Vintage Armani is going to be expensive. And it's not that it's not good and you shouldn't buy it, but don't sleep on diffusion lines just because today diffusion lines are, like James said, a dirty fucking word. It's like a hack or like a little fucking loophole.
And I wonder why that was. Like my theory, and I can't necessarily speak to this because I'm not that old. So I wasn't necessarily around and buying designer back in the day.
Right.
But my theory is that like, I guess like contemporary menswear as a category, maybe it wasn't as robust, and you didn't have these kind of like upper middle tier brands.
Sure.
Like you didn't have like the Our Legacies, and you didn't have the you know, the MF Pens.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, you could either like not care about fashion, you could be a streetwear guy, or you could buy designer, and then maybe these diffusion lines were kind of just like more accessibly priced.
Yes.
To extrapolate, more, you know, for the common man to interpolate. versus just like the flagship brand name.
Yeah, and because
and so they had like the resources and the brains behind them, because they weren't just like a quick money grab like you were saying.
Yeah.
They were like, yo, this is Yoji Yamamoto, except it's not so avant-garde and boundary pushing. It's more just like regular guy shit. Like, and we're saying regular guy now for like regular guys now care about fashion obviously more than like it feels like regular guys back then.
Absolutely. And it's also for a younger guy who, now that there's so many brands at so many different like levels, like we're talking about, where like, you know, there really is, for better or for worse, a brand for like every type of guy at every type of price point, for the most part, looking for whatever specific thing. Whereas like, if you were a Yoji customer, you're probably not interested in this striped olive, navy, and gray number, but because there's not another brand that was plugging that hole, they could they could create this garment like and at a very high level. And I think that's what you would see too with like the old Emporio Armani or old Armani jeans. Yeah. And honestly, again, guys, fucking get your bookmarks up on eBay. This is, or whatever your keyword searches, whatever the term is, like this is, I think, how to get it cheaper than ever.
Absolutely. Yo, interestingly, Yoji has a vintage section on their website.
I love that. Sustainable king.
It is all sold out. This is all one of one. But I think he has 16 different 16 different categories or slash kind of like sublines.
So I can name Y3, Wise, and Yoji Yamamoto.
Okay, there's S''YTE site, Ground Y, Wise, Limi. I can't read that. Yoji Yamamoto, Pour Homme, Wise for Men. Gothic Yoji Yamamoto. Oh, what's that?
That's the darkest shit, bro. Oh, that's for a real fucking ninja assassin.
There's also Power of the White Shirt, but it is the words power and white are very large.
Yeah, that's
and
tough.
Shirt also very large, but like
he's an Asian guy.
If you're dyslexic, you're reading it as white power shirt.
Yeah, I guess we should also say like, and you know, a contemporary of fucking the Masters who did this.
Sorry, real quick. Yoji Yamamoto Gothic is just like skull rings. Like you don't want this shit.
No,
like there's a ring that's just
I'm not young enough.
Red
for
lips and silver fangs.
This is what Comme des Garçons did to great effect as well.
Yes, absolutely.
They're probably, if I had to guess, they probably were like one of the first to do this. So I guess Giorgio predates them. But anyway,
I thought about wearing a Comme des Garçons shirt, like a Oxford cloth button down, blue, kind of like has a metallic sheen to it, to the industry pod. Be like, look, guys, I'm dressed like a fucking banker.
Oh, I see.
But then I'm like, then I'll sweat through it and look like an asshole.
Yeah, and then
like under titty sweat at the bar.
One of them shows up in rich guy pajamas, and the other one is just fucking full Loewe pilled. So it's like, you know, like I didn't even like. Well, I'll get to me, but it's like I have a sport coat. I'm not wearing that.
Yeah. Let's get into your fit check.
Okay. I am wearing my uncle-in-law, Bobby, R.I.P. I'm wearing his sea turtle boots.
Illegal.
Illegal sea turtle on the fucking dogs. I do have the bisexual Beethoven socks, but they're hiked all the way up because they're perfect for
Let's see 'em.
For boot socks. They're great for because I don't want the shaft paws to be rubbing against my calf.
Wait, so you're going socks to the knee like a fucking like a hefe?
They're literally like pure soccer socks where they hit right under the knee.
My name is Jeff.
Yeah, so like again, multi-purpose shopper right here.
Yeah.
The jeans for me today, because of the weather, are vintage Levi's 501s. The belt is Metalwood Studio. The t-shirt is a vintage Beatles tee.
How much did that cost you?
It actually wasn't. It's a great tee. It's the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band album cover, famous album cover, and then the big logo on the back. This, I'm trying to remember. I had a plug that gave me a deal on it because I don't know how much this would. I don't fucking buy like vintage tees for hundreds of dollars, but it's probably maybe $150. Love the Beatles.
Has there been a Beatles backlash yet?
No, the only thing I could think about is like the whole Migos are better than the Beatles meme that became like that we talked about on the show with them
with the Migos. Yeah. But you know how like now like a hot take for whether it's a joke or people actually finally like feel brave enough to say it or there's enough people saying it that they can say it. Like I feel like there's been backlash to like where it's like actually XYZ sucks.
Well, the doc, remember the huge doc that was like came out 2 years ago on Apple?
Yeah, I think it was your movie of the year.
I made it my show of the year. It was awesome. I mean, here's
not industry season 2. You fucking not an industry guy over here.
Yeah, maybe it was an honorable
not
mention.
a company man.
No, I love the Beatles. Shamelessly, I'm not going to pretend like I don't.
Music for babies.
Okay, interesting take. I think like young people though that are listening will probably agree. Like I think the Beatles are not. They'll always be relevant because they're the Beatles and how they've influenced so much culture. But I don't think
I get that they're important.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But I can't listen to their music.
Oh, I was listening on the way over here to Rubber Soul.
Is that why I walked in you sleeping?
I was not sleeping when you walked in. I
feel the same way about. I was thinking about this today because it just popped up on a playlist. Mm-hmm. I feel the same way about Radiohead. I feel like Radiohead kind of fucking sucks. If you don't like Radiohead, you're just like, why am I listening to this guy sing in a terrible voice?
I am with you. I'm also not a Radiohead fan.
Except for Creep. Creep slaps.
Of course. Shout out the Social Network trailer. Great cover. No, I don't. I'm not a Radiohead fan either. With that said, I wouldn't disparage the importance of the band. Right?
Why are they important?
Because I feel like they are the true kind of heir apparent to like that era of the Smiths and the Cure. That was like the only like I feel like band that really carried that legacy on that wasn't Britpop.
How do they carry on that legacy?
I think in just the terms of like the songwriting and then the cultural impact and importance that they had on a generation of people that then started bands because of like the people that started bands because of the Smiths or like Radiohead, and there's people that start bands because of Radiohead that I'm sure are very popular. That,
like Green Day.
Yeah, right. Yeah, honestly, Green Day is better than Radiohead. Straight up, dude.
Tweet it. Radio, I mean, I'm like getting ready or like having lunch. I'm just like, why am I listening to guys speak? Computers. I'm like, fucking next song, Siri.
Okay, yeah, computers.
Siri, next song. This shit
I prefer the sex, drugs, and rock and roll to Britpop for sure.
Technology.
Even though it is 100% light outerwear season of deception, like you said, I use that in my own way to then be like, okay, it's a sport coat day, baby. So I have.
You got accepted by dropping his name again, Gallagher. I feel like we're on the group chat. The Skeeters were getting active, and it's like, oh shit, 70 degrees, perfect temperature to drink some piss. Perfect fucking t-shirt under blazer weather.
Yeah, get a little fucking tailoring off. So I have this suit, but this is the sport coat, which I'm just referencing something that no one can see. Right. Is Stussy, Our Legacy Workshop. It is the linen double-breasted jacket that goes with the pants that we both have.
Yes. Do you think that looking ahead as the brisker months descend upon us, do you think that t-shirt under a sport coat will be a common Larry move?
Yeah, and then I think I'm really interested to try when it gets even cooler is some type of like I have that Our Legacy Armani like turtleneck sweatshirt type deal. I'm like, oh,
a knit under the blazer.
Yeah, a knit versus a tee.
I can never do. I'm not disparaging it. Personally, I could never do, because I have such a fresh little baby face, I could never really do t-shirt under the sport coat. I felt like I looked like a fucking baby.
Yeah, I think
like a baby playing dress up as daddy.
Yeah,
at dad's office.
Unlike how I did it the other day when I raw dogged the 18 East Beauty, today I'm going tucked in tee, got the big old belt on, got the boots. This is my way of dressing up the dressed down tailoring, if that makes any sense. Anyway, the sunglasses are Celine. The hat is...
Sorry, just go back. I just felt like, for me personally, it's like an old guy maneuver that looks good on old guys, but it doesn't work unless... And this is what I thought a lot about #menswear. It's like, you guys look like boys playing dress up as men.
Cosplaying as men, yeah.
Hats.
Yeah. Well, now
like true hats, not like caps, but like, old guys can wear hats that we make fun of and call like brunch hats or whatever, or bucket hats. Like an old Japanese guy in a bucket hat, fucking fire. Guy in his 30s wearing a bucket hat, 85% fucking lame.
Okay, bucket hat that's a tough one. To your point, while I may act...
I'm not calling you a boy dressed like a man. I'm saying that's why I never do it for myself.
No, and what I was going to say is despite acting and feeling like somebody much younger than I actually am, how do
you feel younger?
Well, just in my mind, I see myself. Okay. That's what I mean. I don't.
So you think of yourself as younger?
Yes, exactly. Right.
But you don't feel terrible?
I definitely don't feel terrible.
Okay.
Do I feel spectacular? No. But to your point, I don't think I look young. So for me, I don't think I put this on and maybe present in the way that you think that you present.
I think that, and I'm not saying I have the fresh-faced, doughy eyes of a young fucking horny Jimmy, but I think that some fits require city miles on your motherfucking face.
Sure. I think
that's all.
Do old guys not look better in like
most
everything classic and traditional, right? Versus like any, we don't want to see Jason Sudeikis wearing Jordans on a fucking red carpet, but
that was the one trend that we both kind of acknowledged as seeing in Italy and Paris was the guys were just like super dressed down tailoring.
Yeah.
Like a serious, dark navy black blazer, but just over a tee or over like a cashmere thin knit.
Or just like a full on, like really nice suit that with the accessories or the shirt is being super dressed down. Maybe the footwear is dainty and light as well. What's nice about this sport coat and the suit, the suit has an elastic waist. They're giant like beach pants, right? Yeah. So this is like the fact that like it is double breasted and peak lapel and all that, like this is as casual, I think, as a sport coat or a suit jacket in this case could ever get. The hat is by Sammy Reese. Shout out fucking Snake America. One of our recommended Substacks.
Yeah.
Sammy's the man. Hopefully we'll see him tonight.
I think I texted him to come through.
My grills are in my pocket for the party. Sorry. Special occasion. Rollie on the wrist, wedding ring on the fingy, wifey on the pinky, Chrome on the other hand, Zinn, Celsius, Lower East Side's finest. And yeah, we have to leave soon. So I don't know. We have 10 minutes if you want to cook.
Okay. The boys are here from London. The talk percolating around the fucking ends, man, is that London. I think we're huge London lovers, right? We love that town. Oh, we fucking run that city.
I think it's the only place that I could truly envision myself living that is not New York.
Because
totally frank.
Because they speak English.
Honestly, sure. Well, no. Even like cities in America, including them as well. So yeah,
you don't see yourself as a St. Louis guy.
No, I wish that work brought us out there more. And I don't know if this is saying too much, but ironically, our second biggest demographic, I don't know if the audience knows this, after New York, obviously, is actually London.
Yeah, I think London and New York are more just from an age perspective and also just historically like more cousins than like New York, LA. The industries, no pun intended, the cultures, the demographic has always been like
the mindset.
There's always been more of like a New York, London. It's like fucking just as close as London, New York.
It's like punk,
LA,
like
New York.
punk rock, dude.
Oh, wait, what? In what way?
Because punk originating in like both London and New York.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I thought you were making a how to make it reference.
No,
the 70s, man, the birth of hip hop and punk rock.
That is
fucking bell bottoms.
That's that's in the pilot, right?
It's
when he's talking to his professor.
It's when he goes. No, I don't think it's the pilot. It's when he goes to because he at the pilot
second episode. You're right.
Second or third episode. Yeah.
The best is that it's that fucking like the teacher at FIT.
Which, by the way, the fact that they named a fashion school Fit, genius.
Yeah, that was very prescient of them. But
prescient.
Prescient?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Weary?
Rally?
That guy like, oh yeah, but he sold his fucking brand for $80 million. I'm like, then why is he teaching? If he's
like, should fuck off to the British countryside.
And like, he doesn't seem like the kind of teacher that even like really wants to be there.
No.
So it's like, okay, dude. Anyway,
London has a similar just like constant energy. It's vibrating. It's constantly, people are always out doing things. I think that the historicalness of the culture and just like the architecture and the physicalness of it is almost like it's more rooted than New York. Obviously in New York, I think it's just like a lot of, just glass shiny fucking chain stores going up, and London's going through the same shit.
Sure.
Like gentrification, shit is too expensive. There's now like fucking insane Nazi protests of just people killing brown people because of that dance class stabbing, which hopefully by now, 1 week later, shit has calmed down.
Yeah.
Everyone fucking relax. The fucking Tories are out of here. Everyone just take a deep breath.
The cost of living there is worse than New York right now, right?
I think so, but I mean, I said this on the podcast, but it's like, I love how relaxed the hanging out culture there is. Where
drinkers.
No, it's not even that.
No,
It's like you walk into a pub
sometimes.
and it's like walking to someone's living room.
Yeah.
Right? It's like walking to like your grandmother's living room. Shit is like worn in. It's like airy. It's bright, but it's like warm and comforting and kind of like you're like you're safe.
Yeah.
Versus like walking to a place And obviously those places exist in New York too, but it feels like New York is more just like, oh, like what's the cool spot? What's the hot spot?
Well, the private club culture, I'm not a huge fan of it. Mick and Khan talked about this a lot, and it seems like maybe that scene. Well, there's always clubs rising and falling in London, apparently,
Yes.
but I'm not a huge. I mean, and listen, we got enough of those fucking in New York already, right? And we talked about that with Emily.
Yeah.
It seems though, while in New York, a lot of the worst people that you and I would love to see get off the street, and you've made this point, are going to those clubs. Great, get them out of here. In London, cool guys that are fucking impressive and you would want to fucking meet, like a Mick and a Khan, they're still, though, members of some of those clubs. I don't love that exclusionary thing.
I could see it being... It feels like in London, it's different, right? Here, it's like, oh, like, it's a dick measuring contest. I'm not saying it's not there, but I think that it could... I see the benefits, and for some reason, I envision it being like more... less like cringe in London, where it's like, oh yeah, let's just go here. Let's just start here. We can grab a quick bite. We can I can sit down. I can charge my phone. And yes, that's the same thing in New York. But I think in New York, it's kind of like metastasized into like full on, just like clout chasing.
No, it's a cringe
dick measuring contest.
Yeah, you're right.
Exclusionary, obviously by its very nature being members only.
Yeah.
But it feels like in London, as a more historical thing and more like entrenched in society, it's not that more expensive or hard to get in. I could be completely off base.
Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, the only times that we've ever been to them have been with Mick and Khan when we've been in London. And that's a cool experience to have.
When I was dating a London bird.
Oh, yeah, she was a member to which, do you remember which club?
I think we went to Annabelle's.
Oh, damn.
Not as a member. She's just like, oh, like my friend is working.
Oh, well, that's cool. I mean, see, that's some how to make it in London shit, how to make it in the UK shit that I could get with. I mean, obviously, get in where you fit in naturally. I just think that every time I go there, whether it's like we're doing like specifically work stuff or like we get to fuck off and do our own thing, like I've never had a bad time. I've never had like a bad interaction. And it's somewhere that if it was up to me, I think that like, 2 times a year, like, I could do like 5 days there and love it versus LA. When we do that for work, I'm like jonesing to leave after 2 nights, maybe 3 days.
Yeah.
It's not fucking fun. But London is not as walkable as New York. Let's be real.
That's not true at all. London also has better public transportation.
They have that. It's better.
And so
you're an MTA lover too, so that's bold of you to say.
Yeah, well, I think London has the oldest public transportation system in the world.
I'm not
the oldest subway in the world, at least.
I'm not saying that they weren't first. I'm just saying like, I know that people take the tube.
The fucking tube, man.
I'm just saying like in terms of, I guess it's all about.
But that's important because it's like, I got to fucking trek.
No.
45 minutes to go.
Traffic.
Meet the boys versus just like, I'll hop on the tube.
Absolutely.
Be there in fucking 25, mate. Fucking have me one. Have one for me.
Yeah. I guess you're right. I guess it really is just area dependent. And like, listen, I'm not trying to claim that I'm some expert in like what is the coolest, hottest neighborhood in London or anything like that. What I'd like to do is get over there and experience it for myself and come up with some of my own opinions that I can bring back to the show. But
so if you're listening out there and you want to sponsor us coming over, and the chatter that I've heard is like London has this creative energy going for it. I think as a weird kind of like a weird result of Brexit. It's like a lot of like creatives internationally have kind of flocked to London. I'm not because they're fucking anti-EU.
I was going to say, wow,
not because they're anti-EU or because they want to like go kill a brown person.
Jesus Christ.
Although some of them, maybe Lena Dunham does. I don't know. I don't know her politics. We only went to kindergarten together.
What? Wait, you went to kindergarten with Lena Dunham?
Yeah. I've told this story before.
Okay.
I don't want to repeat it.
Ugh.
Maybe in first grade.
Are people still like repulsed by her? The idea
I don't know.
of her?
I think
or people gave up. They don't care.
I think it's part of that, but also partially that, but also it's like Zoomers discovering girls are like, oh my God, this shit is the best show ever made. It's like, no, industry is, and How to Make America is. Was specifically. The chatter is that like London has a lot of kind of like creative juices flowing, whether it's like the content creators doing the fuck on the ground, whether it's like our boy Danny fucking cutting classic pods every fucking week, him and Jordan.
Sure. Shout out
and
Jordan,
then a lot of like
Danny.
a lot of TV, movie, art, dance, design, fashion.
Music for sure.
Which has always been the case, but it feels like they're kind of like reaching the chatter again. I'm not sure because I'm not right there. It feels like it's kind of like, we are bullish on London, creatively speaking.
Yeah. And it seems that a large portion of our audience in the UK because their audience, they're bullish on us. And I want to shout out to, if you're a fucking bloke or a bird listening to us behind the paywall on throwingfits.com, salute to you.
Yep.
Great. Well, should I say great country? Because Manchester ruled.
Manny was fucking tight, man.
Manny and London, I could not see myself living in Manchester, but I could live in London.
No.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, but listen, shout out to you. You're not your government.
No.
No,
Well,
you're a person.
you're not your right wing nationalist.
You're not your beliefs. And if you're listening to us, we don't care. No.
Yeah. You're not your media.
I'm just saying, like, shout out
you're not your horrendous history of imperialism and enslavement.
When I'm beating off to the charts after we drop a fucking instant classic every week, typically these are the free ones, and we chart really high, and I see that it's like, top 50 UK arts, and we're fucking crushing on the British Spotify charts. Like, I'm like, that rules, dude. That's what's cooler than that.
Yeah.
And then I bust.
A lot of things are cooler than self dick sucking.
Well, someone's got to keep track of this shit. You can't, I don't listen to the show. I just show up. I'm like, someone's got to fucking make sure that we're not completely
I look at the charts too.
blowing
I
it.
just don't fucking crow about them on my own podcast.
This is the first time I've ever mentioned them.
All right. Well, we got to get out of here because we
Yeah.
got to get to our happy hour. Open bar. It already happened, so I don't know why I'm plugging in more. This has been another Afters of the only podcast that matters. Chef, take us out.
Later, guys.